Hey, what's up, everybody? This is TaZaras Isom from the King Kong Project, and today I want to talk to you about why black relationships fail. Why black relationships fail. Now, I think initially the most pressing reason why black relationships fail across the world is sex. Yes, the three-letter word, sex. I think black relationships fail because of sex. Not that sex is a bad thing, because we all enjoy sex, but sex has now based our relationships on romance and performance. So the reason we date somebody is for the reasons we are physically attracted to them: height, weight, body shape, figure, complexion, lifestyle. These are things that, of course, allow us to choose who we want as a mate or as a partner. Now, the issue with that is, if I'm going to choose you based on your physical features, what happens when those physical features disappear? What happens when the lust is gone? And that is a problem. In the Western world, particularly, we have based our relationships on performance. So I date you, and while we are dating, I downplay the negative features or attributes of myself, and I uplift the positive. So, in other words, you're not dating the complete me. You're only dating the me that I want to show you, which is an act, which is almost a counterfeit, because we're not showing them completely ourselves. We're only giving them a part of us. So that's why many people, when they get in relationships, when they move in with somebody, or when they get married, and you guys face hard times, the old adage is, this was not the person I fell in love with. You've become somebody different. How come I never knew this before? It is because they have performed, they have acted, they have given you something and have built a relationship upon only part of them. That is the reason why they're not the same person. And it has caused us to almost have the philosophy that I got to test drive the car before I buy it. That I got to make sure that it's right. So we use sex as a way to do that. And so many relationships go from casual quickly to sexual based on the philosophy of romance. Romance initially is bad, because romance should be developed. Because any healthy couple, any person that is happily married will tell you that sooner or later the lust dies, the infatuation goes away, and you have to be able to have a relationship built on much more than just physical attributes or lust. I'm telling you, it's going to vanish sooner or later. But we should be able to build something a lot deeper than that, because we're not always going to look the way that we look. We're constantly changing. Things are constantly changing in our lives. So we're not the same people. So to fall in love without knowing who I am completely is more harm than help. And that is why most relationships fail. But I do think that if we take some principles from the indigenous black groups across the world when it comes to their process to marriage, I think it will help black relationships succeed. I think that we'll see a lot more people married. I think black love will be celebrated a lot more. And I also think that the divorce rate will go down. Now, what do indigenous black cultures do that is so important? Well, first, what they do is they understand and they promote marriage as not being something personal or limited to just two people. Here in the Western world, we approach relationships from the aspect of, this is our business, it's me and this person, no one else. We don't want nobody in our business. We don't want no one helping us. And that is selfish, and that is why a lot of our relationships fail. In indigenous black communities, the community chooses people to come together. They arrange for a couple to be wed. Now, what I mean by arrangement is what these indigenous communities do is that they gather amongst one another and they decide on two people based on their strengths and weaknesses. They take those in consideration, and they also take personality in consideration. Why personality? Because if you try to match two alphas up, there's going to be clash of personalities. They're going to fight one another. If you put two betas together or two weaker individuals, they're never going to get anything done. So they take, of course, personality into consideration as well, because you got to be compatible. So they do this, they choose somebody, and they educate the two lovers on the person that they have decided for them. Now, the elder is the one that's going to confirm it, the elders, and validate it. Then they give the choice to the suitors. This is the person, based on the information we've given you, we feel is right for you. Now you have a choice. Now, most people misconstrue the image of arranged marriage, especially in indigenous communities, and think that arranged marriage means the person does not have no choice. No, not when it comes to Black indigenous communities. They give somebody the choice on whether that person they feel that is suitable for them is actually suitable for them, because they're the person that's going to live with them. They're the person that's going to be married to them, have children. So they want to make sure that it's their choice. They just help suggest things that will benefit them or who they choose. So what after the elder confirms it, of course, they go to the process of being married. I love this process because it teaches us as Black people, if we want our relationships to succeed, we got to get to know somebody. That's the reason the community comes together. They come together solely for the fact of laying out and finding out if this person's positives and this person's negative, this person's strengths and his weaknesses are something that can come together and do great work for the community. Now, the other thing I like about it is that the community is involved. I think that is a principle that we must pick up in the Black community. We have to stop being on an island and isolating ourselves and not allowing ourselves to have help when it comes to dating. You need to ask people around you. You need to ask their exes. You need to talk to their family members, their friends, people that don't really like them. You need to find out as much as information you can about somebody that you're potentially trying to take the relationship to the next level, because this is going to give you a full spectrum or a full view on who the person is. That is essentially what the community does. Of course, nobody in America or anywhere else across the globe in modern world is going to like an arranged marriage. So it is our job to allow our parents, to allow our friends to help us pick the person. Now, of course, we need people in our corner that's going to be honest with us, that's not going to allow their pain and their traumas to affect their decision making, but really it's just for assistance. You got to make the decision. But secondly, we got to get to know people. It's important for us to not just take things to the next level, because what this does is causes trauma. It causes kids being born, blended families, bastard children. Not that bastard children are bad. What I'm saying is it causes a whole bunch of children that are left fatherless and motherless, or without two parents in the home, without stability, simply because we wanted to rush and get into a sexual relationship prematurely when we didn't get to know the person's heart. You must get to know a person on a deeper level than physical. You got to know somebody spiritually. You got to know somebody intellectually. You got to know somebody emotionally. And when you use those as the initial factors, when you get into the physical part of sex and making love, then you're doing something impactful. You're knowing the person on a deeper level, in sex and everything else is that much more meaningful and that much more enjoyable. So that's all I have today. I think these are some of the things that will help Black relationships succeed rather than fail. I love Black love. I promote Black love. And this is just some of the beginning steps I think that our community needs to take to, of course, bring successful marriages to the forefront of our movement. Once again, this is TaZaras Isom with the King Kong Project. We'll see you next time.